Hey, I am Nunu. Imagine two people crossing the $100,000 mark on the exact same Friday. They are the same age, they live in the same zip code, and they work in the same industry. The first person, Chase, sits in his car after work looking at his phone. He sees the direct deposit notification and actually laughs out loud, but not because he is happy. He is laughing because he spent the drive home adding up his bills, and even with this high salary, the number on the screen still isn't enough. Now imagine the second person, Melly. She gets the same notification for the same amount, but she just closes her phone and goes for a walk. To her, this extra money didn't change her life. It simply confirmed the life she was already building. They have the same income in the same city, but one just got richer while the other just got trapped. Today, we are going to look at why crossing six figures quietly rewires your entire financial life, and why, for most people, it is the exact point where the math of making it starts to collapse. To understand why your life changes after $100,000, we have to talk about the part nobody likes to mention. This salary is not what it used to be. $100,000 today has the same purchasing power as about $36,000 did in 1980. The number that used to be associated with yachts, beach houses, and early retirement is now what many people use to pay for a simple one-bedroom apartment. Even just 6 years ago in 2020, $100,000 was worth significantly more than it is today. In the early 90s, only 5% of American households earned six figures. But today, it is roughly 43%. The six-figure club isn't exclusive anymore. It has become the median experience for a huge chunk of the workforce. Culturally, we treat $100,000 as the line where you are supposed to start winning, which is why the reality of the tax situation hits so hard. If you are a single filer at this level in 2025, you land squarely in the 22% federal tax bracket. Between federal income tax and FICA, you are already looking at about $20,000 gone before you even pay your state taxes. If you live in Texas or Florida, you might take home around $6,500 a month, but in New York City, that drops to under $5,900. This geography penalty decides whether your vacation fund even exists, even if your job and title are exactly the same. But the real tax story isn't just about the percentages. It is about what you lose access to the moment you cross these quiet lines. The federal government assumes that at $100,000 you are wealthy, so many benefits you used to rely on suddenly evaporate. The student loan interest deduction disappears. Tax credits for education, like the American Opportunity Tax Credit and the Lifetime Learning Credit, phase out or vanish entirely. If you have a 401k at work, your traditional IRA deduction is gone. You are too rich for the Savers Credit or the Earned Income Tax Credit. Suddenly, you are paying full price for your student loan interest, your education, and your retirement contributions. The IRS treats you like you are rich, but your bank account often hasn't received that memo yet. This gap between being paper rich and bank account rich shows up most clearly in the housing market. Using traditional rules, a $100,000 salary can afford a home priced at roughly $360,000. While that is close to the median home value, it is much lower than the median price of homes that are actually selling right now, which is closer to $437,000. In major cities, the math gets even worse. In places like San Jose, Los Angeles, or Boston, you need an income significantly higher than six figures just to buy a median home. If you choose to rent, the situation is just as difficult. In Manhattan, the median one-bedroom rent can eat up over half of a $100,000 gross salary. In fact, in San Francisco, a single person earning over six figures is officially classified as low income by the federal government. This isn't a failure of the individual. It is a sign that the ceiling has fallen on the floor. Most people think that more money will fix their stress. But data shows that paycheck-to-paycheck living actually follows a U-curve. People making under $50,000 often struggle, but then there is a sweet spot between $100,000 and $200,000 where stress is lower. However, once households cross the $300,000 mark, about 40% of them report living paycheck to paycheck again. This happens because every raise you get lands inside a culture that has already priced in your success. The moment you hit six figures, the world starts showing you $7,000 exercise bikes, kitchen renovations, and nicer apartments. Your friends' expectations and your own definition of a normal night out begin to upgrade. You are working harder and paying more taxes, but the financial distance between your new life and your old $65,000 life can stay shockingly small. This math stops being funny when you add a family to the equation. The national average for infant daycare is now over $17,000 a year, and in cities like New York, it can hit $26,000. For a household with two kids, that is an entire six-figure salary before taxes just to have the privilege of going to work. The tax-advantaged accounts meant to help with this, like the Dependent Care FSA, have not kept up with inflation and only cover a small fraction of the actual cost. In high-cost cities, a second partner earning $100,000 might only contribute $10,000 to $20,000 to the household after daycare and taxes are paid. This creates a situation where professionals are working full-time for what feels like Starbucks money while missing out on time with their children. Even when people try to save, they are fighting an uphill battle. To max out a 401k at $24,500 would take nearly a quarter of a $100,000 gross salary. That is more than most advisors suggest saving in total, and it has to come before rent, food, and student loans. It is no wonder that the median retirement balance for people in their prime working years is only about 13% of what experts recommend. We aren't a country of lazy savers. We are a country of people choosing between their kids' tuition and their own retirement every month. In fact, nearly 1 in 5 households earning six figures would struggle to cover a basic $400 emergency. This is not poverty, but it is extreme fragility. When every dollar of a high income is already committed to a house or a car, a single flat tire can trigger a financial crisis. However, $100,000 is also a major emotional threshold. Research shows that for people who are already miserable, more money stops adding joy after they hit six figures. But for those who are already content, happiness actually starts to accelerate after this point. This means the raise doesn't change who you are. It reveals who you already were. Feeling rich isn't about your balance. It is about the gap between what you earn and what you feel permitted to spend. If you are still stashing every dollar because of a scarcity mindset, your brain will register constraint instead of wealth, no matter how much you make. So, if you want to ensure your life changes for the better after $100,000, you need to follow a few secret rules. First, you must treat $100,000 as a new baseline, not a finish line. The old cultural script that says six figures means you have made it is obsolete. In most American cities, the real number for feeling wealthy is now significantly higher. Second, you have to aggressively protect the gap. When you get the raise that pushes you past this mark, you should bank the difference before your lifestyle has a chance to notice it. Every dollar you don't let lifestyle creep absorb is a dollar that can compound for the rest of your life. Finally, do not let the difference between what six figures was supposed to feel like and what it actually feels like turn into a grievance. The names on the numbers change with every generation, but the game stays the same. The people who win are those who realize that the goal was never the salary itself. It was always the margin between the salary and the life they lead. You won't feel rich because your paycheck got bigger. You will feel rich on the first Tuesday you realize your expenses didn't grow as fast as your income. That is the real threshold, and everything else is just marketing.